everybody, it's Amy Mesney with Teaching Ideas for You, and I wanted to talk to you tonight about how to make assignments in Google Classroom. It's very easy, but there are a few tricks to it for some things that make it easier, and I wanted to show you that. So I'm going to share my screen, and I want to make sure I'm sharing the whole thing, and I'm going to make it big. I'm going to take my face off so that it's bigger for you, because I know I have a hard time seeing. So this is my Google Classroom. So I am going to open this. This is my class. You can change your picture up here. Over here, the assignments will show up when you make assignments. These are places where you can just leave little messages to your kids. So like, you see what I mean? Like I made one, I've been practicing these. So I made here, everybody welcome back. Let's say I want to say, don't forget the project is due this Friday, right? I just want to leave them a note, post. Okay, but to make assignments, you're going to go up to classwork and you're going to click that tab. Now, I made a few topics. You can make topics, they come up over here. So let's say you teach everything in elementary school, or you have multiple preps in middle or high school. You can go to create and you can make a topic. So let's say maybe you teach, I'll put science in here, but it could, you can add whatever you want. So now you'll have science, math, reading, social studies. Now you have all these things. I'm going to delete this out so I can show it to you again. Okay, so I want to show you different types of assignments. One that I want to show you is to make a quick attachment. So this is going to be a journal prompt. I'm going to say, answer the question with a complete, right? Because we always have to tell kids that. So I have it assigned to all students. I'm going to maybe make it 25 points. I'm going to assign it for Friday. There we go, to Friday. And the topic is what category you're putting it into. So I'm going to put it into the writing. And I'm not going to give them a rubric. This is just going to be a little journal assignment. So you have two ways to make an assignment that you're just attaching. You can create it or you can add it. I prefer to create it, but I want to show you what you do to add it. When you add it, you're adding the file directly. So the first thing you want to do when you want to do that is to make a copy of your file. So you can see here I have this opinion file and I made a copy. And I'm going to show you why in just a second. Okay, I just want to make sure the screen was sharing. So I'm going to add it. I'm going to go to my Google Drive. I'm going to find that file, and it comes up because I just made it, so it was recent. So it's copy, right? One thing you don't want to forget is to change this. And why it's not make a copy for each student, I don't know, but you have three choices. Students can view the file, so they can look at it, but they can't do anything to it. Students can edit the file, but that means students are going to be editing the same file. So each kid is going to be writing over the other kid's work. So you want to make a copy for each student. If you forget to do that, unfortunately, you have to delete the assignment and you have to start over again. I know nobody wants to do that, but if it happens, it's not the end of the world. So I don't want to give them this whole file of journal prompts. I just want to give them one journal prompt. So I'm going to click on it. Like you see here, I clicked on it and it opened. And I'm going to delete off this. I'm just going to hit the delete, 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 until I give them that one page up here. I'm going to say Friday's journal entry, right? Because that's what that now is. And so now I have everything. I've double checked. I got it all done. I'm going to assign it. So it wasn't hard, right? Like you thought it was going to be tricky, but it's actually pretty easy. But now the trick is, here's my assignment. It comes up. Now it's that page. You can see everything looks good. But when I go back into my Google Drive, I'm going to close this. Now you see that when I open that file, all I have is that one slide. So if this is a file that I made for my classroom myself, like I didn't buy it from TPT or somewhere else, and now I've deleted all my work and I can't get it back. So the thing for me is that I don't remember to do that. And so I don't like to use the paperclip to attach it because I always am worried that I will delete my files. So again, if it's a TPT file, it's not that big of a deal because if you happen to delete stuff off of it, then you can always go back to TPT and download it again. Whereas if it's something that you spent an hour making for the class and now you've deleted half the slides, you're going to be upset. So I don't really need that file. I'm going to delete it, and then I'm going to show you another example. So let's talk about creating an assignment. Now, I'm taking things that are already set up as digital files. So these are all things that if you would go to TPT, they'd be digital files. That usually means that they are set up as Google Slides or maybe Google Docs. So I'm going to call these Colonial America Graphic Organizers. I'm going to say read lesson 1 in the text and complete the organizers. Okay, oops, I spelled it wrong. You always want to check that. There we go. Some of us can't type. And again, I might change the points over here. I'm going to assign it for Wednesday. You can even have it due by a certain time if you want to. Like I know my son's teachers will set times. And then I'm going to put it under social studies so that it goes under social studies. And if you forget that, you can edit that later. So let's talk about create and what happens when you create. So it's going to create and I get to choose. Do I want to make docs, slides, sheets, drawings, forms? Forms would be like a test. I'm going to make a slides. Like I said, a lot of TPT files are slides, and I'm going to show you what to do. And I think this personally is so much easier, and then you don't delete your files. So I'm going to use my, I'm making Colonial America digital files, digital notebooks. So I made a copy. I don't know if you caught that, but like I've already made copies just to show you. And I don't really need to make a copy tonight, but again, I just did it so I don't mess something up. So you can see when we come here, I want to talk about like what are some things teachers can do, because these are slides. A lot of teachers want editable slides, but the problem is clip art and fonts are often copyrighted to the sellers, and so teacher sellers can't make them editable. And actually, to make things editable in a way that you're sure that you haven't like left something open that you're not allowed, it's actually more work than what it seems. And plus, the other added problem with that is, I don't know about your students, but my students would delete stuff off. So like, I made this a Google slide that isn't, the background isn't editable. You see, I can pull on it, but the kids can't accidentally delete the background, and they don't know how to get it back. They've deleted the words off the page. It ends up being a hot mess. So like for my things, I lock that slide as a background, and since it's a background, students can't easily erase it. But you see these text boxes, they can write in all of those and they can put their answers. So if you're a teacher who has something like this, and let's say charter is not one of your vocabulary words and you just don't want it, just make a text box and put over it like this. Now, is it going to look nice? No. But is it going to fix your problem? Sure. So here's your text box. I would fill it with the color. So I'm just going to fill it, and I'm going to fill it with the color that's kind of similar to the background. I'm going to just use the Arial for now, and I'm going to make it really big. And let's say my word that I want to use is columnist. Okay, well, I made it too big. So I'm going to, oops, I forgot. I have to click on this. Oops, so now you can see you just have to play with it to get it where you want it. There you go. If I don't like that, I can even bold it. So does it match 100%? It doesn't. Can kids delete that? They could, but it is a workaround for you if you need to edit something on the background. And it's just a simple text box, and it doesn't take a lot of work. Now, what am I going to do over here? So when I did this, it opened this blank presentation for me because I'm creating an assignment. I don't need these text boxes, so I'm going to erase them. If this is the page I want kids to do, but I only want to give them a few pages, like this is a 50 some page file, like I don't want to give them that all at one time, right? So I'm going to assign like this one that we were just working on. If I click over here on the left and I copy it and I come to this thing, it'll paste right in. Now don't panic, but look, it looks like a hot mess, right? Because you have to make this presentation the same dimensions. To do that, you go to File and you come down here to Page Setup and you just set it up to the page. And this is an 8.5 by 11. So I go like that and I'm gonna apply it and boom, right there. So now let's just take another page just for the heck of it, just to show you how to do another. I right clicked on the slide to the side. I went to copy. I go here, I click over here on the side, and I just put paste. And now, because it's the same, I'm just going to put match styles. You don't want to link the files. It comes out fine, and it's ready to be uploaded. So I'm going to say Wednesday, social studies assignment. There you go. Okay. So now I come back here. It hasn't changed here. Don't worry about that yet. I did everything. I assigned it. Let's assign it and see what happens. So now, if I come way down here to social studies, you'll see it. I'm going to delete these out of the way so everything comes up on the screen. Okay. Now, so you can see I have this assignment and I have the social studies assignment. If we want to pop it open and look at it, and I can see my typing is terrible. And if I open it, you'll see that it's there. Okay. Now, let's see, if you say to yourself, oh no, did I forget to make a copy for each student? You can come in here and you can actually look. So if I come in here, let me edit it. I'm going to come and look. Nope, I did students can view the file. So the problem with this now is it will not give you the option to give it to every student because you want each student to have their own copy. But there's good news and there's bad news about this, right? So the good news is because I've already copied these things, it's going to be there. So I'm going to go out of this, and because I messed that up and you don't want every kid writing on the same thing, I'm just going to delete this. And I'm going to make a brand new one. I'm going to go back to create an assignment. I'm going to add it this time though, and watch, it's already in my Google Drive. So if you mess this up, like you don't have to have a panic. Here it is. It's that last file that I made and it's there, and I have to change this, make a copy for each student. And I do have to fill everything out again. Colonial America, organizers, you know, read the text and complete the organizers. If I could type better, my life would be infinitely easier. Okay. And again, if you want to change all this stuff over here, you can. And I'm going to not put the topic in just to show you what you can do about that. So we were assigning this, I think, for Wednesday. Okay, so I'm not going to put the topic. I'm just going to assign it. And now I've remembered to make each one, you know, each kid get their own copy, assigning. So, now that assignment is randomly up here and it's not put into any of my topics. And so I want my stuff nice and organized. So again, I can just go in here and edit. Come over here to topic, add the topic, save it again. So you can edit things like that. You just can't give it to every kid their own copy if you forget to do it from the beginning. So just realize that if you happen to do that, you just have to do the assignment over again. So delete the one that's wrong and do it again. Let me show you a quiz. You can make a quiz or you can assign a quiz. It will give you this blank quiz form, but I'm going to add a quiz because I like to make my things ahead of time. I don't want to add it in here. So I happen to have my world history test in here. So I'm going to put Greek test, and I'm going to say complete. All right, let's just make it Friday, right? So I'm going to just add it. I don't have to create it. I'm going to just put it in here. So all students, 100 points. I'm going to put, again, the date and time. Go to Friday. I'm going to put social studies. Now, again, you could have maybe an American history, and you could have, a world history, and that would be fine. But I'm going to go into Google Drive. I'm going to go to my drive. I'm going to find my world history file. My advice is if you have stuff in your Google that you absolutely don't need and it's just in your way, just get rid of it. Because I find I'm just too lazy to delete stuff, and that's my fault. But here's my Greek test, right? So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to just add it. Now I don't want this blank thing that's there. I'm going to take it off, and here it is. Now if you notice, it doesn't give you an option to give everybody a test, but they're going to get their own test. So it's there. I've done all that. Let's assign it. And you can see the test is there. Somehow I hit a different day. No, this is the right day, isn't it? And here it is. So you can see the test shows up there. Okay. I just find it easier to have a test pre-made than to try and do it later. Okay. So the things I want to show you, and I am having trouble with the Kami working tonight, is a workaround for when you have a PDF that you want to put up in Google Drive. So let me just tell you quickly. The issue with a PDF is that you don't necessarily want the kids to have the entire PDF. Like my paired passages have, multiple passages in them, plus each passage is written on 3 different levels. Plus it has all the quizzes in it. And you don't want to give them everything. Maybe you just want to give them the one reading passage instead of the whole thing. So with a PDF, you really can't attach it because you give them the whole file, and that's a mess. Then somebody said, oh, you can convert it to like a Google Doc. And I'm going to show you that now, but that is also a hot mess because I tried it. So let me take you there. And I'm going to take you into my drive. And it makes a file called Kami Assignments here. And so I want to show you what happens. So this is the file that I had, and it's a PDF. And so I just right-click this file so you can see it looks beautiful. Everything's on the right page. So what I said is, okay, I'm going to save that as a Google Doc. Well, this is what I ended up with. So it's a mess. And for me to have to edit this to give the kids 2 pages, I mean, it would literally take me so much time. It's just not really worth me doing that. So there is another way to do it, and I wanted to show you that. So I'm going to close that. So again, people tell you that's the option, and maybe if you have a simple dimple thing that you want to do, maybe that would be fine. If for me, it just doesn't work. So I'm going to take you to this file, and I'm going to open it on my desktop. So I'm going to open the file, and a workaround is to take a screenshot of it. So I'm going to open a PowerPoint, and I'm going to show you how to screenshot the page you want. It is a pain. It does take some time, but it is better than sending the kids the entire file that you don't want them to have. So I'm going to take the responses off, and again, you have to go to design and set the page size up to be the size you want. So again, it's 8.5 by 11. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to maximize. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to do something else. So I'm going to put this file in front. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the print screen button that is on my keyboard. On my computer, it's next to the F12. So I take a print screen, and what that does is it makes a screenshot. And I just right-click and paste it into PowerPoint. There's my screen. Now, I don't want to give them all that mess. So what I'm going to do is format it, and I'm going to crop it. Now, I pull it and make it bigger because some of us are blind. and don't see that little box very well. But if I go like this, I made it big enough that I can just make that like that. And if it's a little bit off, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to pull it bigger for the kids. And that's going to be off the side of the page anyway, and they're not going to see it. So now, here this file is, and I can just save this and attach this in the Google Classroom. So let me just do one more for you, just in case you need to see it again. So I'm going to put the PDF file in the front. I'm going to go back to something like this. So I want to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to use the print screen button that's by the, well, on my keyboard is by the F12, print screen. And I'm going to right click and go to paste. Again, to crop it, I make it bigger just because I don't see very well. Crop, crop. And I'm going to take it down like this. I get a nice little picture. I just drag it to the corner if you want, or just drag it. Now I've got 2 pages. Now I can assign students these 2 pages. I would literally just save the file. I'll save it to my desktop. I'm going to say test, save, and there you're done with it. So now when I can click this out, I could literally go here and I could assign it. Now, I'll show you what I'm having some trouble with Kami tonight, and I don't know why, but I can't write on it. So I have to select all my students. It is already selected. It's published. Okay, and I'm going to say uniforms. I'm just going to call it something, right? And here's my directions. I don't have to put that in. Points, I can assign a due date from here. I'll say Tuesday. Here's where you can put the time. And here's the topic. I'm going to put it in writing. And I will just go ahead and take it off my desktop. Here it is. Okay. And I'm going to put it. Now I will show you, and again, what I like about the Kami is it automatically makes a copy for each student. I don't know why that setting isn't the automatic setting for every type of assignment, but for some reason here it is, but on the other assignments it's not. So when you put this in here, it's going to give each student a copy of this text. Now Kami is a document writer, so like the kids could make notes on it and they can add little text boxes and type what they want. And my son and I did that the other night on his computer as a student, and he could do it. For some reason tonight, when I upload this, and I've tried it a multitude of ways, it is not letting me make a text box. And I don't know if something's just going on with Kami, because I know they're doing a lot of work right now behind the scenes because so many teachers are getting ready. But you can see here it is, and the kids get the 2 pages you want them to have. They're supposed to be able to open with Kami and then have it work. I don't know why it's not working for me tonight. I've even tried opening it with the new window. But what they do is they open it with Kami, and then they can type on it. For some reason, it's just not working for me tonight. Tech happens. I don't know why, but that's how you can take a PDF and then the kids can write on it. So the Kami program allows them to like make little text boxes and things. And you can see I have it here, but it just isn't, like I said, I'm wondering what's going on, or if I'm doing something wrong, but that is how you assign it with Kami. So it's easy. And you can see here's uniforms, and I say, oh, I put it in the wrong topic. So maybe I want to edit it and put it back into reading where I meant to put it. So you see, the good thing is that most things in Google Classroom are easy to fix. And that is the thing I like about it. The only thing that I found you couldn't fix is if you do forget to make it that each student gets their own file. But again, once you've created that file, it's in your Google Drive, and you can just, you don't have to remake the whole thing. You can just attach it. But I hope that helps, and I hope that makes you guys feel better about this, because it really is not that hard. Like I said, tech happens. they make updates, they make changes, and sometimes you have to roll with the punches and just realize it doesn't work necessarily the way you wanted it to. Just think of it like, maybe I'm going to be really old, but like when you couldn't get your VCR to work or something came unplugged. I'm really dating myself with these things. But you just have to have a plan, and sometimes if you just have to move that assignment to another day because the tech is down, you just move it. You have to be a little flexible online, just like you do in the classroom. And I think teachers are really good at being flexible and rolling with the punches. But I promise you, Google Classroom is very easy. If you're feeling nervous, the more you do it, it's going to start to just feel like second nature. And you just have to do it over and over again, just like anything else. Like when you learn to ride a bike, there are people who just get on that bike and go, right? Like I had a friend whose son was so athletic, like she put him on once and he was like off down the street. I remember spending weeks. I had a little cement block and I had to get up on the block to get on my bike. And I would go so far and fall and I would take my bike back and I kept at it and it took weeks for me to remember it. So don't compare your distance teaching journey with somebody else's. Just because somebody else picked it up much faster than you doesn't mean you're not going to get it. This is something everybody can do, and Google has made it about as easy as I think it can be. Because I taught online, it's almost 10 years ago now, and it was much more difficult to assign work and to meet with kids online than it is today. So I promise you, this is going to be great. You're going to do great. But just remember, if you need tips, come back and watch it again, walk through it. If you have questions, just reach out to me and I will try and help you. So I hope that you found this helpful. And this is Amy Mesney from Teaching Ideas for You. You guys have a good day.